Okay, so in the last lecture we have finished our last chapter, the third number chapter, that is capacity planning. And I think the last 2 points we have discussed, that is nothing but investment decision and replacement analysis. Okay, so these points are also important. How, why we need to do the investment, and how one can do for the investment, then when to go for the replacement, and which parameter we should consider for replacement of particular thing or for the machine. Okay, so that we learn in the last lecture. And from today we are going to start our new chapter, that is chapter number 4, named as production planning and control. Okay, so name of the chapter is production planning and control. Actually, here I want to mention that the short form of this word, the production planning and control, will be considered as PPC. Okay, PPC. And in the industries, in core mechanical industries, in manufacturing industries, where the investment is very large, so at that place, this production planning and control, uh, having a specific department, okay, or a special department in the industries. Okay, and the functions of that department, we will going to learn in this particular chapter. Okay, so production planning and control. So most of the industries, manufacturing industries, having this specific department in their companies. Okay, so what we are going to learn in this in this particular chapter number 4, that is objectives, functions, then differences between production planning and production control, then coordination of a PPC with other department, then what is meant by routing, what is meant by scheduling, what is meant by loading, what is meant by sequencing, and what is meant by line balancing, and how to perform the line balancing, that is also important. Then we are going to discuss specific production control. In that, the parts of production control are dispatching, and the functions of function and documents, follow up and evaluation. So these are the uh, steps of a production system, and we are going to discuss these steps in detail in this particular chapter. Okay, so write down the chapter name as production planning and control. Write down the chapter name, production planning and control. Production planning and control. Okay, syllabus. Syllabus. Objectives. Objectives, comma functions. Objectives, comma functions, comma difference. Objective, comma functions, comma difference, comma coordination of PPC with other department. Coordination of PPC with other department. With other department. Then comma routing. Routing. Routing, comma scheduling. Comma scheduling, comma loading. Loading, and sequencing. And sequencing, loading and sequencing, comma line balancing. Line balancing. Line balancing, then full stop. Production control. Production control, in that dispatching. Production control, that dispatching. Production control, in that dispatching. Then functions and documents. Then functions and documents, comma follow up evaluation. Comma follow up, comma evaluation. Follow up, comma evaluation. Follow up, comma evaluation. Okay, over. Okay, so then let us discuss what is meant by production. Okay, we know that the production means transformation of a raw material into finished goods. Okay, so that is the general idea about the production. We have to consider the raw material or the input parameters, and we have to perform some operation on that material, and need to transfer to the finished good type or finished good or a usable product. Okay, so that is nothing but production. So while doing the transformation from raw material to finish the good, we have to follow some steps. Okay, and that steps are called as a operations. Okay, each step is called as operation. Okay, boring operation. Okay, then material removal operation. Okay, drilling operation. Okay, these are the operations. So each step in the transformation phase from the raw material to the finished good is called operation. Okay, and we have to follow this all the operation to get the desired output or to get the desired product. So this production consists of series of a sequential operations. Okay, the production consists of a series of a sequential operation. Now, who can produce the goods? Okay, there should be one institute or one organization. Okay, or a production system you required to produce the good. Okay, produce a good. And what is the ultimate goal of any production system? What is the ultimate goal of a production management? One is nothing but the right quantity. Second one is nothing but the right quality. Third one is nothing but at right cost. And the delivery of a product should be at a right time. So these are the four important factors or the objectives of any production system. And every system is surrounding to these four objectives only. Okay, their targets are surrounding to these four objectives only. Okay, every system want to increase their production. Okay, every system want to increase their quality. Every system want to reduce their cost, product cost or the manufacturing cost. And every system try to deliver the product to the customer on time. Okay, so the production system, each and every production system is bound by these particular four factors: quantity, quality, cost, and time. Okay, quantity, quality, cost, and time. These are the four important factors of a production system. Okay, so planning. What is mean by planning? First of all, we need to understand that it is never happen in the world without a plan. Okay, so without plan nothing will happen, or if it will happen, then the chances of to happen that thing is less than 1%. Okay, or it will be considered as a luck by chance only. So you have to firm plan to do one thing or to perform the task. Okay, so you should have a firm plan. That is the more important thing, and then only you are going with that particular plan to perform the task. Okay, so planning is the initial stage, or we can say that the fundamental thing of any management. Okay, so management का क्या role होता है किसी system में? Okay, किसी organization में? So the fundamental role of any management is nothing but a planning. So what is meant by planning? In the plan, you are thinking about the future and you are anticipating what will happen in the future. Okay, and what kinds of difficulties will arises and how you are going to tackle to that particular difficulties with available resources. Okay, how you are going to tackle that difficulties which will arise in the future with available resources. Okay, whatever the resources are there, manpower, machines, then energy, then information, or a raw material. So these are the resources for producing the goods or producing anything. So you have to tackle these problems with these resources only. Okay. So first of all, you have to perform the planning activity to start the production. Okay, to start the production. And we know that for the planning purpose, we required some basic data. Okay, what is that basic data? The first is nothing but what is the actual demand in the at the present situation. What is the actual demand of a product at the present situation, and what will be the demand of that particular product in the future. So that is nothing but our chapter number 2, forecasting demand. We need to perform the forecasting of a demand, and then only we are able to prepare to achieve, we are able to prepare a plan to achieve that particular demand. Okay, okay, or to achieve, we are able to prepare a plan to achieve that particular demand in the market. Okay, and once you are able to determine the forecasted demand of a product in the market, then you will come to know that what is the schedule of a delivery. Okay, what will be the schedule of that particular product delivery to the customer. Okay, so everything is surrounding to that about the forecasting of a demand and what will be the dates to dispatch that product to the customer. Okay, if you know the deadline of a dispatch, then you will start early and you will start working on that particular product. Okay, or you'll do the production of that particular product, and will be that particular product will be ready for the dispatch. Okay, so uh, the given data for any planning is nothing but a product demand of in the market, and second is nothing but a schedule. Okay, now the planning is more concerned about the utilization of resources. Okay, the planning is more concerned about the utilization of resources. So whatever the resources available with you, you have to utilize that resources with more effectiveness. Okay, so more effectiveness means what? If there is a raw material, you should consume less amount of a raw material. If there is a machine, then you should consume less machine hours. Then if there is a manpower, then you should consume the less manpower to produce the product. Okay, so that is nothing but the most effective way to produce the product. Okay, so whatever the information you are available, on that basis, you have to do that with the most economical way. Okay, and for that purpose, you required the firm plan. Okay, you required the firm plan. Then the last word of our chapter is nothing but a control. Okay, so control, what is meant by control? After listening this word control, okay, brake is used to control the speed of a vehicle. Okay, what you come to know from that particular control. Okay, if anything going out of control. Okay, if anything going out of control, so at that time you are applying the brakes. Okay, similar fashion in the system, in a production system or in any industry. Okay, you have decided some plan. Okay, you have decided some plan that within 1 month I will produce this much goods. Within 1 month I have to tackle this demand. Within 1 month I have to satisfy this particular customer. So this is your plan on paper, but in actual it is happening differently. Okay, in actual it is different, happening differently. So you can compare the actual thing and planned thing, and what is the error between that two things. Okay, and you have to reduce that particular error. Okay, so that thing, reduction in a actual or reduction in a error between actual thing and a planned thing is nothing but a controlling. And for that purpose, for the controlling purpose, you need to take the corrective actions. Okay, corrective actions. And that actions will becomes under controlling phase. When this phase will comes in the picture, when there is a difference between actual and planned. Okay, when there is a difference between actual and planned, then and then only this control phase will come in the picture. Getting my point? Is there any question, any doubt in these 3 points: production, planning, and control? Okay, so write down production, production, write down production. That transformation of a raw material, that transformation of raw material, that transformation of raw materials to finished goods, that transformation of raw materials to finished goods, that transformation of raw materials to finished goods. Second point, consist of series of sequential operation. Consist of, second point, consist of series of sequential operations. Consist of series of sequential operations. And it is organized activity. You need to organize the manpower, you need to organize the machines, you need to organize the raw material, and then only you are able to produce the product with right quantity, right quality, with right cost, and at the right time. Okay, so that it is organized activity. It is the organized activity. Then next point, production system. Production system. Production system is enclosed by 4 factors. Production system is enclosed by 4 factors. Production system is enclosed by 4 factors. That is quantity, quantity, comma quality, quantity, comma quality, comma cost, quantity, comma quality, comma cost, and time, and time. Production system is enclosed by 4 factors. That is quantity, comma quality, comma cost, and time. Our next heading, planning. Planning. In that you can write first point, planning, look ahead, comma, anticipates possible difficulties, look ahead, comma, anticipates possible difficulties, anticipate possible difficulties, and and decides in advance, and decides in advance as and decides in advance as to how the production, decides in advance as to how the production, comma best, comma be carried out, production, comma best be carried out, full stop. Second point, it is fundamental function of management. It is fundamental function of management. It is fundamental function of management. Then third point, planning starts with given data. Planning starts with given data. Planning starts with given data. That is demand for product. That is demand for product. comma, delivery schedules, etc., comma, delivery schedules, etc. Then next one, on the basis of information available, on the basis of information available, on the basis of information available, scheme of utilization, scheme of utilization, scheme of utilization of firm resources, of firm resources, of firm resources are worked out, are worked out, are worked out to obtain, to obtain target, to obtain target, to obtain target, to obtain target in most economical way, in most economical way, most economical way. Write down the next heading as control. Next heading as control. In that you can write the control phase, the control phase, the control phase. Make sure that, make sure that make sure that the programmed production system, the programmed production system, the programmed production system is constantly maintained. Programmed production system is constantly maintained. Next point, production control comes into action. Production control comes into action. Production control comes into action if there is any deviation, if there is any deviation between the actual and planned. If there is any deviation between actual and planned. And next point, production control comes into action if there is any deviation between actual and planned. And if there is any deviation, then the last point, the corrective action is taken. The corrective action is taken so as to achieve, so as to achieve, so as to achieve the targets, so as to achieve the targets set as per the plan, so as to achieve the targets set as per the plan by using control techniques, by using control techniques. Is there any doubt, any question in the meaning of three words? Is there any doubt, any question? Okay, so if not, then write down the next point heading, production planning and control. Okay, so we come to our chapter heading name, that is production planning and control. We have just discussed the meaning of each word separately in this particular title of production planning and control. Now combinedly, what is meant by production planning and control? Okay, so it is one kind of, initially I have interpreted at the start of the chapter that the name of chapter is equal to one department of the company. Okay, one department of a company. So we can say that It is one kind of a management tool which is available with the management to achieve the objectives of a production system. Okay. Now, what is meant by objectives of production system? Okay. Once again, we are going to that particular point only. That is nothing but right quality, right quantity, right cost at a right time. Okay. So these four, we can say that the basic um, objectives of a production planning, okay, or any production system, and management need to strive to achieve that objectives of any production system. And for that purpose, you are having this particular department, or you are having this particular tool as a production planning and control. Okay. And what it does, okay, so production planning meaning is nothing but you have to plan for the production. Okay. Then what is the meaning of a production control in the organization? You have to control the production. Okay. So this is the in general meaning of a production planning and control. Okay. So first of all, you have to plan for the production, and then you should have a control on a production system. Okay. That is nothing but whatever you have planned, whether you are achieving that thing or not. Okay. So in that case, you have to do the evaluation of a production system, on the spot evaluation or a in process evaluation, and then you should come to know that is there any action required to control the production or not. If the things are match up with the plan, then you did not require the production control, or you did not require to take any action. But if the actual things or whatever the happening in the industries, that is out of the control, or we can say that out of the plan, then in that case you have to take the actions. Okay. So in general, it can be defined as a direction and coordination of a firm resources towards attainment of prefixed goals. Okay. Direction and coordination of firm resources towards attainment of the prefixed goals. Okay. So you can write production planning and control, production planning and control. And that first point, production planning and control, in that first point, production planning and control is a management tool. Production planning and control is a management tool available to the management, available to the management to achieve objectives of production system, to achieve objectives of production system. Next point, production planning and control production planning and control is the organizing is the organizing and planning of the manufacturing process. Production planning and control is the organizing and planning of the manufacturing process. Full stop. Next point, it can be defined as direction and coordination. It can be defined as direction and coordination of firm direction and coordination of firm resources towards attaining the prefixed goals. Getting everyone? Is there any question, any doubt? Okay. So in production planning and controlling, there are 3 stages. Okay. So we can say that there are 3 stages of a PPC. So first is nothing but planning. Okay. Second is operations, and third one is control. So in a planning phase, we have to select the suitable resources. Okay. Or we have to select a suitable resource for the production purpose. Okay. Resource in the sense of raw material, in the sense of a manpower, in the sense of a machinery. So multiple resources, multiple variety are available in that particular 3 things. and you have to choose the appropriate material, you have to select the appropriate manpower, you have to select the appropriate machining or the machining center or the machine or the process of a manufacturing. Anything will be there. Okay, so one can say that the bar is can be manufactured by rolling mechanism or by rolling the things, or we can say that the bar is also manufactured by using the uh, uh, foundry technologies also. Okay, so that are the things. Okay, so you have a different opinion about the production, but which is the best way to produce that good and which is the most economical way to produce that particular good is more important. So planning, in the planning phase, in a production planning and controlling, there are 3 stages. In a planning phase, you have to take the decision about the selection of proper alternative. Okay, and which will be useful to utilize the resources in a best economical way. Okay, in a best economical way. Second stage, or we can say that second step of a production and planning control is nothing but operation. So in a planning phase, we have decided we will select this material, we will use this manpower, we will use this machine, we will reduce this much diameter at this stage, we will do the drilling at this stage, we will do the painting, we will do the quality checking at this particular stage. So you have decided. So what will happen about that particular product, which processes you are going to follow in a planning phase. Okay, and the execution of that thing is nothing but a operation. Execution means what? You have to perform the drilling, you have to perform the material removing processes, you have to perform the welding processes, you have to perform the painting processes, you have to perform the heat treatment like processes, you have to perform the melting molten metal processes. So all these processes or all these execution stages are known to be a operation. Okay, are known to be a operation. Okay, and the last thing is nothing but you have to check whether it is going as per the plan. Okay, that is nothing but control. Okay, and it will be called as a monitoring of a performance. Okay, now here you have to take the feedback at a different stages. So to check the quality, or you have to take the if you consider you are going to take the feedback from your customer, and you have to inculcate or you have to change or you have to make the changes in the product or in the process as per that particular feedback. So the feedback from the customer will be useful for your industry. Sometimes you are going to take the feedback from your own employees. Okay, your own employees. So and that will be inculcated in the product. Okay, as per that feedback, the changes will be happen in the production process or in the actual product. Okay, so whatever it may be. So what is the more important thing? You have to take the feedback. Okay, and feedback will compare the actual thing. Feedback also compare the actual thing and the planned thing. So this is also a checkpoint for the feedback. Okay, yes, I have decided the production will happen 10 and actually happen 9. So feedback you have taken, production happen 9, and you are measuring or you are comparing that with the plan thing. So that is nothing but a monitoring or a controlling of the performance. Okay, by feedback. Okay, by feedback. So write down production planning and control. In that, the next point is there are 3 stages in PPC. There are 3 stages in PPC. There are 3 stages in PPC. First one is the planning. First one is the planning. First one is the planning. In that you can write the choice from several alternatives the choice from several alternatives of the best utilizing the choice from several alternative of the best utilizing second one is operations. So in that you can write performance in accordance with details set out in production plan. And the last stage is control. That you can write the monitoring of performance through a feedback. That is nothing but control. Over. Is there any doubt, any question? If not, we will go for the next point. So what is the need for a PPC? Okay, next point is need for PPC. Why any manufacturing sector or any production department want this particular department? Okay, that is nothing but a production planning and controlling. So first achievement, if you implement the production planning and controlling, or if your company is having production planning and controlling department, then the company can utilize the resources effectively. So that is the most important thing, because our most of the money, or the company's most of the money, is invested to gather or to organize the resources. Okay, if you save the resources, that will be directly benefited for the industry in the sense of a money. Okay, if you save the raw material, then that much raw material can be useful to produce the second product. Okay, and your raw material cost will be saved. If you save the machine hours, then you are going to save the electricity, and that will be converted into money. If you save the manpower, or if you reduce the manpower from the firm, so that will be ultimately that salary of that particular people that you have not hired for the industry, and you have utilized or you have performed the task with the same manpower, then you have saved the cost of a manpower, and that will be benefited for the industry. Okay, so PPC helps to utilize the firm resources effectively. Then it is useful to achieve the production objectives. Okay, once again I'm repeating: right quality, right quantity, right cost, and right time. So these are the production objectives or production system objectives, and that should be every management system want to achieve that objectives, and the PPC department will help to management to achieve that objectives. Then if you are having the production planning and controlling department in your company, then you can able to generate the uninterrupted production flow. Okay, how it will be happen? Because you are going to arrange, okay, the procedure of a PPC or working style of a PPC in a such a manner that your resources management will be effective one, and there will not be any lack of resources at any time in the system or in the company. Okay, and that will help you to produce the product with constant rate or required rate. Okay, and it will help you to supply the good quality product to the customer on the continuous basis at a competitive rate. Okay, so as the effective utilization, achieving the production objectives, and uninterrupted flow, that will help you to satisfy the customer demand, to satisfy the quality demand of a customer, and you can achieve the lowest rate in the market for that particular product as compared to your competitor. So you will get a competitive price for the product if you are implementing all the methodologies of production planning and controlling in your department, okay, or in your company. Okay, so for that reason, the PPC department is most important department in the industries. Okay, in the industries. So write down need for PPC. Need for PPC. Need for PPC. Need for PPC. In that you can write PPC needed to achieve. PPC needed to achieve. PPC needed to achieve. First one, effective utilization of firm resources. Effective utilization of firm resources. Then second one, to achieve production objectives. To achieve production objectives. Third one, to obtain uninterrupted production flow. To obtain the uninterrupted production flow. To help the company to supply a good quality. To help the company to supply a good quality products, good quality products to the customer, to the customer, to the customer on the continuous basis, on the continuous basis at competitive rate, on the continuous basis at competitive rate. Okay, or so here in the next point we are going to discuss the production planning and production control separately. Okay, so first thing we need to understand that the production planning is the stage of a production process, or it is the early stage of a production process. Okay, so we can say that it is a pre-production activity. Okay, before starting any production activity we should have a firm plan. Okay, so planning activity should be done before the production, so it is a pre-production activity. Then it determines the manufacturing requirement. Okay, so what are the required things? Let us consider your company is producing one Tata product. Okay, and or any Tata vehicle. Okay, so for that purpose you are having the assembly line. Okay, and thousands of components are required to fulfill the requirement of an assembly line. Okay, so you have to manage that 1,000 component. Okay, at any cost during the working time, not a single component should be miss out. Okay, should be miss out, or should not be miss out, or it should not be think like that it is not available on a shop floor. Okay, so it is the predetermination that what is required for the production purpose, and accordingly you have to manage the things. Okay, then it is required at a design of a production system also. Okay, so planning is required to design the production system also. Okay, so design of a production, what we can say that production system. Okay, so production system is you require the resources. Okay, so you require the resources 1 2 3 4 5 7. Okay, whatever the resources you can say that. Okay, and here you will get the output. Okay, so input will be the resources and output will be considered as the goods. Okay, and here you are doing the production process. Okay, process. Okay, here process I will write process. Okay, now here resources are required. Okay, input to the production system are nothing but resources. Okay, now planning is required to arrange these resources. Okay, you required to arrange these resources, and planning is also required to 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 convert these resources into required output. Okay, so what kind of a planning? How much skillful workers are required, then which type of a material is required, then how much energy is required, whether we are buying that energy or we are producing that energy, and what kind of a information is required. Okay, so like machine drawings. Okay, then any kind of a books, or we can say that the specifications. Okay, that is nothing but information kind of thing. Now processes, in processes the planning is required, which kind of a machines are required. Okay, and which kind of a process you are going to implement to produce that good. Okay, so here the important part is that the planning is also inculcated in a design of a production system. Okay, planning is also inculcated in a design of a production system. Apart from that, planning the resources, it is going to organize the production. Okay, and based on the estimated demand for the company products, it is going to establish the production program. Okay, on the basis of a demand and on the basis of a sale of a product in the market, on that basis the program is prepared for the 1 year time period or for the 5 year time period. So here, one scientist, Ray Weld, defines the production planning is the determination, acquisition, and arrangement of all the facilities necessary for future production of a products. Okay, यहाँ पे एक साइंटिस्ट क्या बोल रहा है आपको, यहाँ पे एक इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट क्या बोल रहा है कि प्रोडक्शन प्लानिंग क्या है, आपको पहले पता होना चाहिए कि क्या लगने वाला है, आपको वो अरेंज करना पड़ेगा। ओके, ओके, आपको वो बाय करना पड़ेगा और ऑन द टाइम आपको वो अरेंज करना पड़ेगा। किसके लिए? फॉर द फ्यूचर प्रोडक्शन ऑफ अ प्रोडक्ट्स, फॉर द फ्यूचर प्रोडक्शन ऑफ अ प्रोडक्ट। सो प्लानिंग इज सराउंडिंग टू दिस थिंग। ओके, जो भी आपको करना चाहिए प्रोडक्शन शुरू होने से पहले, जो भी आप चीजें करते हो वो सब प्रोडक्शन प्लानिंग के अंदर और प्रोडक्शन प्लानिंग के दायरे में आती है। Getting my point? Getting my point? So you can write production planning, production planning. Write down the heading production planning. Production planning. It is a pre-production activity. It is a pre-production activity. It is predetermination of manufacturing requirements. It is predetermination. It is predetermination of manufacturing requirements. Of manufacturing requirements. Next, it represents. It represents. It represents the design of production system. The design of production system. Next, apart from planning the resources, apart from planning the resources, it is going to organize. It is going to organize the production. It is going to organize the production. Next one, based on the estimated demand. based on the estimated demand for companies' products, companies' products, it is going to establish the production program. It is going to establish production program. And lastly, Ray Wilt, name of the industrial engineer, Ray Wilt defines production planning is the determination, comma, acquisition and arrangement of all facilities necessary for future production of products. Okay, getting my point? Is there any doubt, any question in this point? Whether you understood what is meant by production planning? We'll discuss the production control in the next lecture. Okay, and then we will also discuss the difference between production planning and control. That is also important one. Then we will go for the objectives of a PPC. Okay, whether you understood all the points that we have covered today? Is there any doubt, any question? If not, then you can put up your roll numbers in the chat box and you can leave them this meeting.